She was the love of my life. Until I caught her cheating on me. In our bed on our anniversary. But instead of revenge, I chose something more powerful. I chose to rebuild, and when she came crawling back, broken and begging, I showed her exactly who she threw away.
Welcome to Infidelity Truths. Before we dive into today's gripping story, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us create more thrilling stories just for you. Let's begin. I met Vanessa 8 years ago. She was vibrant, magnetic, and had this contagious energy that made life feel exciting. When we first got together, I genuinely believed she was the one. We were married for 5 years, and in the beginning, everything felt perfect. We laughed, traveled, made plans for the future. I worked hard, and she thrived in the lifestyle I provided. I didn't mind. Her happiness made me happy. But over time, things started to change. I can't even pinpoint exactly when it began. It was subtle at first. She started going out more often, spending money recklessly, and barely spent any time with me. At first, I told myself she was just trying to blow off steam. Maybe she needed space. Maybe it would pass. But it didn't. It got worse. I'd wake up in the middle of the night and find her side of the bed empty. She'd come home at ungodly hours, reeking of alcohol and perfume that didn't belong to her. Our bank account drained fast, fine dining receipts, weekend getaways, designer clothes. Every time I asked her about it, she had some excuse. Just a girls' night. Retail therapy. Stop being paranoid. I wanted to believe her, but deep down, I knew. Then came the night that shattered all doubt. It was nearly 2 a.m. when she walked in, giggling on the phone. When she saw me on the couch, her expression turned sour. "What?" she scoffed, dropping her purse. "We need to talk," I said, standing up. She rolled her eyes. "About what?" "You're never home. You're spending like we hit the lottery. And when you are here, you treat me like a ghost. What's going on?" She didn't flinch, didn't apologize. She looked bored. "Nothing's going on. I'm just enjoying life. Since when is that a crime?" I scoffed. "Enjoying your life? Are you even aware we're married?" "Oh, please," she laughed. "You're so dramatic." "This isn't drama, Vanessa. This is real. You act like you don't care about this marriage." Her expression hardened. "That's not true," she snapped. "But I'm tired of you trying to control me." And then she said it. "I'm not afraid to replace you." It hit me like a slap. I stared at her, heart pounding. "What did you just say?" "You heard me," she said, eyes locked on mine. A cold chill ran down my spine. "Replace me?" That one sentence stuck in my head long after she slammed the door and left. That night, something shifted in me. I stopped feeling sorry and started paying attention. I combed through our bank statements. Expensive restaurants I'd never been to, hotel charges, late-night Uber rides. None of it made sense. One evening, I came home early and heard her voice from the bedroom. "I know, baby," she whispered. "I miss you too. I hate sneaking around." My stomach turned. Then my phone rang, and she turned around fast, face pale, startled. "Who was that?" I asked. She fumbled. "Just Melissa." Melissa, her old friend she hadn't spoken to in months. I didn't press her. Not yet, but I knew. That night, while she slept, I checked her phone. Nothing. No messages, no calls, no emails. Either she wiped everything, or she had a second phone. She was being careful. Too careful. The next day, I contacted a private investigator. His name was Derek, gruff, sharp-eyed, mid-50s. I told him everything, her disappearances, spending habits, the suspicious phone call. He listened, took notes, and nodded. "She's hiding something," he said. "Don't worry, I'll find out." A few days later, he called. "Ethan, we need to talk." I met him in his office. As soon as I walked in, I saw them. Photos. Vanessa and another man. Tall, smug, dark-haired, his arm around her in a bar, her hand on his at a restaurant. Then the worst one, her kissing him in front of his house. I felt hollow. Then the emotion crashed into me, rage, betrayal, humiliation. Derek cleared his throat. "His name is Tony. I followed them for 3 days. This isn't just a fling. She's got a second life." I clenched my fists, jaw tight. I see that. I took the folder and walked out. The next morning, I got up before Vanessa, staring at her as she slept peacefully, like she hadn't torn our marriage apart. I didn't say a word. I drove to my lawyer's office and laid everything out: the distance, the financial abuse, and the affair. When I handed him the photos, he nodded. "This makes your case very easy," he said. I wanted the divorce fast, clean, and merciless. He assured me he could deliver. Over the next few days, I acted like the doting husband, making her coffee, suggesting movie nights, complimenting her looks. She soaked it up, completely unaware of what I was planning. 3 days later, the papers were ready. I called my best friend, Jared, and asked him for a favor. I wanted him to serve Vanessa the papers. He didn't hesitate. That afternoon, Vanessa and I sat in the living room. She was on her phone, probably texting Tony. A knock came at the door. I opened it. Jared stood there, folder in hand. Without a word, he handed it to her and left. She opened it slowly. Her face paled. "What is this?" she asked. "You tell me," I said. "These are divorce papers, Ethan." "Why?" I raised an eyebrow. "You really don't know?" "Come on, you don't mean this." "Oh, I do," I said. "You said you could replace me. Now's your chance. Pack your things." She blinked rapidly. "Wait, what?" "I already moved all the money from our joint account. Figured I'd keep what's mine." Her voice rose. "You what?" "I know everything, Vanessa," I said, placing the photos on the table. She looked at them, each one another stab to her pride. "Where did you get these?" she whispered. "I hired a PI, I said. "Call it self-respect." She exploded. "You had someone follow me? That's disgusting." I laughed bitterly. "Disgusting? You cheated on me and lied every day." Tears filled her eyes. "You're really doing this?" "I am," I said coldly. "Are you packing or do you need help?" She stormed into the bedroom, slamming the door. I heard her crying, but I felt nothing. The divorce was swift. She tried to fight, cried, screamed, demanded half. But once my lawyer showed the court the proof of her affair, it was over. No money, no alimony, no house. She left with nothing. She moved in with Tony. I moved on. I started living for me. Hit the gym, reconnected with friends, traveled, dated again. For the first time in years, I felt light. Then, months later, I got a message. "Hey, can we talk?" I ignored it. Another came the next day. "Please, Ethan, just 5 minutes." I still said nothing. The following night, a knock at the door. It was Vanessa. She looked wrecked. Makeup smeared, hair unkempt, eyes swollen. "Ethan," she whispered. "I made a mistake." I leaned against the doorframe. "You think?" "Tony wasn't who I thought he was," she said. "He used me. We broke up. I have nowhere to go." I gave a short laugh. "So now you want to come back here?" "Please," she sniffled. "Can we just talk?" I stepped back. "Talk about what? How you betrayed me? Lied to me? Laughed at me behind my back?" Tears rolled down her cheeks. "I miss you. I miss us." "There is no us, Vanessa. I regret everything." I sighed, then looked her dead in the eye. "Yeah, well, I don't." And I shut the door in her face. She cried out there for a while, but I didn't care. She made her choice. And I made mine. I never looked back. 3 months passed. Life had started to feel peaceful again. I focused on rebuilding, mentally, emotionally, even financially. I invested in my business, reconnected with old friends, and started attending networking events. There was no drama, no sleepless nights wondering where my wife was, no lies, just clarity. One evening, I was at a rooftop event downtown. Music played softly in the background, and the city lights twinkled below us. I was sipping on a drink and talking to a potential business partner when someone called my name. "Ethan?" I turned, and there she was. Jasmine. She looked even worse than she had the night she showed up at my door. Thinner, paler, eyes hollow. Her clothes hung on her like she no longer cared what she looked like. For a second, I almost didn't recognize her. "Wow," I said flatly. Didn't expect to see you here. She offered a weak smile. I just wanted to talk. My business partner excused himself, sensing the tension. I turned back to Jasmine and said, I think we said everything we needed to say the last time. I know, she said quickly, but I've been going through a lot. I just wanted to say I'm sorry for everything. I crossed my arms. Sorry doesn't erase the nights you left me wondering if I wasn't enough. Sorry doesn't change the fact you looked me in the eye and said you could replace me. Her eyes dropped. I didn't mean that. I was angry, confused. I shook my head. Number, you were selfish. And that man you left me for, Mike, right? How'd that work out for you?
Her lips trembled. He used me. Once I left you, he changed. He didn't want anything serious. He cheated on me, lied to me, took everything I had left, and then he kicked me out. I shrugged.
Sounds familiar.
Tears rolled down her cheeks. I deserve that. I don't know where else to go. I studied her. For a second, I remembered the Jasmine I met years ago, the woman I fell in love with. But that woman was gone, replaced by someone I no longer recognized or respected. I hope you find peace, Jasmine. I really do, I said. But whatever you're looking for here, it's not available. Ethan, please. Just one more chance. I can prove I've changed. I stepped back. It's not about proving anything. It's about trust. And once that's broken, nothing is the same. She opened her mouth to speak again. But I raised a hand. I'm not angry anymore. I've moved on. You should too. Then I turned and walked away. I didn't look back. I didn't feel pain or bitterness, just closure. Later that night, I got a message from Jasmine. I understand now. I hope one day you can forgive me. I didn't reply. I didn't need to, because sometimes the best revenge is simply moving on and thriving. It had been 6 months since I saw Jasmine at that rooftop event. Life, for once, had become something beautiful. Simple, clear, peaceful. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was living. My business had grown. I'd secured 3 major contracts, launched a mentorship program, and started getting media attention. People started calling me the man who turned heartbreak into horsepower. But beyond the headlines and success, something else had changed. I was healing. And then came Amara. We met at a charity fundraiser I almost skipped. She was on the organizing committee, full of life, warmth, and wit. There was no pretending with her. We talked for hours that night about work, about pain, about faith, about what it felt like to rebuild yourself from ashes. She didn't know my story until later. But when she did, she didn't flinch. She simply said, sometimes God has to empty your hands so he can fill them properly. She was right. Meanwhile, Jasmine's spiral continued. Only this time, I wasn't watching it closely. I'd hear bits and pieces from mutual acquaintances. How she had tried to get her old job back but was rejected. How she'd been evicted from her apartment after missing months of rent. How she'd started reaching out to people she once ghosted. Burning bridges, now trying to rebuild them. One afternoon I got an email. Subject: thank you and goodbye. It was from Jasmine. Ethan, I finally understand. You were the best thing I ever had. And I didn't just lose you. I lost myself. I've started therapy. I'm working a retail job now just to stay afloat. I've lost everything I thought I wanted. And yet, maybe this is where I needed to land. I'm not writing for pity. I'm writing to say I'm sorry. And I accept whatever judgment comes my way. I hope you find the love you gave multiplied. Jasmine, I stared at the email for a long time, and then I hit delete. Not out of hatred, not even out of resentment, but because I no longer needed anything from her. Not an apology, not guilt, not closure. I already had everything I needed. Later that month, Amara and I took a short trip to the coast. One evening, we sat by the water, our feet buried in the cool sand. She turned to me and asked, if you could change one thing about your past, would you? I looked at her, smiled. No, because everything that broke me brought me here. It had been a year since I walked out of Jasmine's life. Amara and I were thriving, professionally, emotionally, spiritually. We weren't rushing anything, but there was peace in what we were building. She didn't try to fix me, she just walked beside me, and somehow that healed more than anything else could. Then came the wedding invitation. It wasn't addressed to me directly, but I knew the names, Jordan and Jasmine. I blinked at the card in disbelief. Jordan? The same man she left me for? I thought I was past it all, but the pit in my stomach said otherwise. I wasn't angry, I was curious. Why now? A few days later my phone rang. A number I didn't recognize. Picked up. Silence. Then her voice. Ethan, I didn't expect you to answer. Then why call, Jasmine? She sighed deeply. I I need to see you, one last time. I almost said no, but something in me wanted to hear whatever this was about. Closure has many faces, and maybe this was mine. We met at a quiet coffee shop. She looked different. Not in a glamorous way. She looked tired, smaller, like life had humbled her. She didn't waste time. I'm not marrying Jordan, she said, staring at her coffee cup. I canceled everything yesterday. I leaned back. Why? She looked at me, tears already forming, because I realized something. I was never in love with him. I was just angry at you for loving me the way I didn't know how to handle. You destroyed us, Jasmine, I said calmly. And now you want what? A second chance. No, she said quickly. I just wanted you to know that I finally see it. I see you, the man you were, the man I was too blind to cherish. And I'm sorry. The silence between us stretched. I could see the pain in her eyes, but it didn't move me like it used to. I forgive you, I said finally, but that doesn't mean we're going back. I've moved on. I found peace. I found Amara. She nodded slowly. She's lucky. No, I said, standing up. I'm lucky, because I almost lost myself trying to love you, but now I found someone who loves me without the war. I left her there, tears falling silently. That was the last time I ever saw Jasmine. 2 months later, Amara and I got engaged. It wasn't a dramatic proposal. It was quiet, intentional, just like our love. And as I looked into her eyes that night, I knew. Sometimes the universe has to break you to bless you. 6 months had passed since I saw Jasmine last. Amara and I were now husband and wife. The wedding was small, intimate, nothing extravagant. Just real, honest love surrounded by people who had watched us grow from brokenness to healing. But just when I thought the past was finally behind me, it found a way back. One evening, as Amara and I hosted a charity event for a foundation we started, one dedicated to helping broken families, I noticed a familiar face in the crowd. It was Jasmine. She looked thinner, worn out. Her once glowing beauty was now overshadowed by something heavier, regret. She waited until the crowd thinned, then approached us. Amara looked at me, curious but calm. Ethan, Jasmine began, her voice trembling. I didn't come to ruin anything. I just came to thank you. And to apologize again. I'm in therapy now, trying to fix the mess I've made of myself. I nodded. That's good to hear. You deserve peace too. She turned to Amara. You have a good man. Please don't do what I did. Amara smiled politely, holding my hand. I know what I have, and I'll never take it for granted. It was a short exchange. Jasmine walked away without asking for anything. Just a shadow of who she used to be. And that was when I realized I had won, not in a petty, vengeful way, but in the way that only truth, healing, and growth can reward you. I didn't need revenge. I had peace. I had love. I had Amara. Later that night, I sat beside Amara under the stars, holding her close. I never thought I'd get here, I whispered. She kissed my hand. You were always meant to. You just had to stop trying to fix broken glass and reach for something whole. I looked at her, tears in my eyes, and for the first time in years I whispered back, I'm finally whole.
Thank you, my amazing subscribers. Wow, what a journey. If you've made it to the end of this story, I just want to take a moment to say thank you. Your support means everything to me. Every time you watch, like, and comment, you're helping keep this channel alive and growing. And trust me, the best is yet to come. I see all your comments. I feel your love, and I truly appreciate each and every one of you. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button and drop a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think. Your thoughts and feedback inspire me to create even more powerful stories. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a new upload. More shocking twists, emotional journeys, and real-life lessons are on the way, and I don't want you to miss a single one. Together, we're building an incredible community, and I'm so grateful to have you on this journey with me. Stay strong, stay inspired, and remember, sometimes life's greatest lessons come from the most unexpected moments. See you in the next story.